Hi, my name's Abby Morgan, and here's a review of my project. My original concept was to do a review on current news trends going on in the world. However, with there being so much negative things people are already talking about, I decided not to focus on the negative and focus on good news. For my creative process, I did a lot of just typing up the passages from the news reports that I pulled. However, I did a lot of Photoshop with removing background images to add to my project. I think the removed backgrounds gives a lot nicer touch to the assignment, and it's a little bit different from what you see on a normal day-to-day basis. For the Holo app, I decided to have the words go around the hands because I thought that would be a cool little touch. I decided to do my passages based off of different topics, one being music, a couple being about the environment and animals, and another being about faith. I messed around a lot with my layout and fonts and added some decorative pieces at the very end. The first week, I did all my research on news and tried to find different topics to talk about that would be interesting, but just focused on being good. I scrolled through a lot of different news outlets to try to find the best ones to talk about. The second week, I focused on getting my images and removing the backgrounds from those. I just went to Google and found some that I thought fit the topics that I was talking about. And when it comes to personal projects or school projects, I like to find aesthetic pictures that are pleasing to the eye, which is why I think removing the background is better for eye appeal. But anytime I need pictures that are more generic and I can just find anything of, I always put aesthetic and whatever I'm looking for to get the best images that I think are appealing for the eye. Both where I struggled and grew the most was my research ability and just fine picking through the news. Whenever you look at the news today, it just makes you want to close your computer. So I really had to fine pick and look for actually good news that I wanted to talk about. What surprised me the most wasn't necessarily about the project itself, but it was about reading about the whales traveling back to their homelands. I thought that was really cool to learn about. And a major thing I learned, which I already knew, but really learned looking through all this news, is that everything is clickbait. People just say anything to get you to click on their site and read their articles, and even when you think it's good news, sometimes it's still bad news. One thing I would do differently about this project is just making everything smaller and changing up the layout a little bit, and maybe even making some of the passages different sizes just to give a little bit more of a dramatic effect to it. But I would like to be able to fit more passages and more news reports, but while also keeping the legibility of the assignment. That way, when I'm actually pursuing my own blog, I can talk about a lot more that I would like to talk about. One thing I was really proud of was how good the images turned out after removing the backgrounds. I think they look really nice on the page, and I also really like this logo that I created. And what this means for my professional future is that I've developed a lot of my skills, such as graphic design, logo design, my research and organizational skills. What I hope for my professional future is that I'll be able to use these skills that I developed to hopefully create my own blog that's entertaining and also aesthetically pleasing, and create something that people want to read rather than just reading a bunch of generic, normal news of what's going on with clickbaity titles. They can just read about all the good things going on in the world, and hopefully one day I can create things as good as some of these top bloggers.